I knew what to do. And let me tell you, I was hella hot. Superhero hot.
Captain Forrest here, and in today's video I'm going to be power scaling Dr. Fate from DC Comics. Now if you guys are new to my channel, please leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for further content. Also huge shout out to the HQ squad, they've been a huge help in my videos, so huge shout out to the team. Also special shout outs to Nyotic, who was a huge help with the Dr. Fate stuff. Shout outs to my boy Nyotic. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go over some feats for Dr. Fate. Now just to clarify some things, there are different users who have wielded the helmet. Now to conserve some time in this video, I'm going to go ahead and pretty much only talk about the important feats, focus on those. The main users that will pretty much be brought up majority of the time will be Kent and Khalid, so just to let you guys know. Now, what comes to mind was the time where Dr. Fate fought against the Spectre, and Nabu's whole goal for this was to basically give Spectre enough power where he would be capable of killing him. Spectre at this time didn't have a host, but he should still be creation level, as Eclipso still considered the Spectre to be stronger than him, and also because he was also being amped by all this magic, and because of that the Spectre considers himself to be stronger than the first time he fought Dr. Fate, which was in pre-Crisis. We also know that pre-Crisis Spectre should have been stronger than Spectre throughout most of the post-Crisis run, as the Presence took a large portion of his power for not stopping the Anti-Monitor. Now Dr. Fate was able to break through a barrier that Indra wasn't able to break through, and Indra's power is a threat to all planes of creation. Khalid gains Nabu's power and uses it to smash magical lightning to damage both Wonder Woman and Cersei, who both had more power than any god who's walked the earth. Dr. Fate is called a mystic magic powerhouse by the narrator. Dr. Fate was able to hold off Xanadoth, who didn't have full skillful control over her power and over her magic, but this is still a good feat because Xanadoth is so powerful that it was also stated all of existence was in great and imminent danger because of Xanadoth, and basically Xanadoth was just such a huge threat throughout that run in Justice League that her name herself, Xanadoth, was even removed and erased so that even the mortal plane mustn't know about her existence. So that just goes to show that that's how much of a threat she was to creation. Now we've seen Dr. Fate clash with Merlin, who is a powerful sorcerer in his own right. We've seen Dr. Fate use his power to slam Xanadoth, who was possessing Black Adam. It literally had to take 3 blasts of lightning from a possessed Black Adam to actually take down Dr. Fate. So Dr. Fate's got some really good durability, which is very impressive, and I've already gone over Black Adam's feats, and we all know how much of a powerhouse Black Adam is. So during Justice League Dark, they face off against Upside Down Man. Kent, Dr. Fate, was able to restrain the Upside Down Man and use his full power to blast him, which damaged the Upside Down Man pretty badly, but he ended up knocking himself out in the process. But regardless, this is a tremendous AP feat nonetheless for Dr. Fate. We've seen Dr. Fate go at it with Aaron himself, and Dr. Fate is able to beat him in magical combat. Kent Nelson, without Nabu, already knew how to become one of the greatest sorcerers that had ever lived, and that power increased with Nabu. Another impressive feat for Dr. Fate was when he went into the lifeblood of the Sphere of the Gods and was unraveling it, destroying the entirety of the God Sphere. Dr. Fate is one of the few beings who could put a dent into the Phantom Stranger. He also takes an attack from the Phantom Stranger too. The helm carries power beyond the gods. It is one of the most powerful objects forged by the Sorcerer's Hand. Dr. Fate uses it to trap the Phantom Stranger. Zatanna notes that Kent Nelson having Nabu probably makes him the most powerful sorcerer on this plane of reality. Dr. Fate is completely unaffected by Swamp Thing's attacks. Fate even holds off and deflects John Constantine's magical attacks, and he's able to completely deflect these attacks back at Swamp Thing, which is pretty impressive. Dr. Fate was also able to block an attack from a Chaos Magic amped Zatanna. So that's going to pretty much round up all those AP feats for Dr. Fate. I'm going to go ahead and move on to speed briefly. Now Dr. Fate would scale to other characters who have immeasurable to irrelevant speed. However, Dr. Fate himself has his own irrelevant speed feat. Khalid Dr. Fate went to the Weaver's Place, which Khalid notes it's utterly completely impossible to go there. And keep in mind that Khalid went to Olympus's afterlife that's in the God Sphere, so he's able to still move into this realm, which is very impressive. So easily some inherent irrelevant speed scaling. Now let's go over some of Dr. Fate's abilities and other miscellaneous things. So for those who are unaware, Nabu describes the helmet as platonic in nature. The helmet contains a universe inside of it too. As for magical powers, before I go balls deep, I will talk about how fundamental magic works in DC. It's stated that the spirit of the gods gives the universe its magic. Raw magic can rewrite the laws of nature, and it's stated that magic has a cost, and these costs can be negated through various means. Madame Xandu explains that magic users have an aura that deflects evil influences of all magic. For example, in this case, the Enchantress personality taking over the main one. It's stated that magical battles happen when the inside meets the outside, when what is and what seems loses distinction. Belief becomes a weapon more deadly than bombs. Magic is the fundamental power of creation and belief in the multiverse. It is tied into every aspect of existence. Stories are tied to magic, and magic is shaped by belief. Magic in DC has a lot of properties and operates more profoundly. Magic attacks have lore, reality warping, and also plot hacks, thanks to magic being tied to these stories and other nasty hacks laced into it. So essentially, Dr. Fate's magic has these types of hacks just inherently in his magic, and his magic is also conceptual in nature. So this isn't your average run-of-the-mill standard magic that, fodder and silly, magic users use. A user of the helmet, depending on how strong their willpower is, basically increases their magic power the more willpower they have, essentially. When the user and Naboo both infuse together, they become stronger and they fight at full power. Dr. Fate comes equipped with his helmet of faith and his amulet of a nimbus. He's demonstrated the use of its magical powers, such as being able to seal his opponents inside the amulet of a nimbus. He can seal his opponents inside his helmet. Dr. Fate can create magical barriers. Dr. Fate can fire a powerful magical blast at his opponents. Dr. Fate can summon magical chains to bind the opponents and restrain them. Dr. Fate can deflect Etrigan's spiritual fire. The fire in DC, this type of spiritual fire, it basically burns you on a spiritual and mental level and physical too. So Dr. Fate can interact with these type of things with his magic. Dr. Fate also has existence erasure, and he's also threatened to erase John Constantine from existence. Dr. Fate can shoot down magical lightning. He can remove curses. Dr. Fate seals Orion inside a crystal for 10,000 years and states that Orion has to transcend his sins or be consumed by them. Dr. Fate can also BFR his opponents to different locations. He can send them to Hell, he can send them to the God Sphere and different other realms too. Dr. Fate can use spells that incinerate the target. He can also use his spells without his helmet. He's shown to use his magic very creatively. He's used memories to take inspiration and basically make new magic, which is a seal. He's also shown to use like time-stopping spells or just spells that basically halt the opponent by saying the word stop. Dr. Fate not only can see ghosts, but he can also destroy them with his magic. He can also sense energy, and he can also phase through objects. Dr. Fate can also regenerate from injuries. Even when his helmet is damaged, it also can regenerate back. Dr. Fate can also teleport. Fate has shown to even make the Lord of Chaos, who is an immortal being. He's been able to literally age basically the Lord of Chaos like to death rapidly, which is pretty impressive. So he can bypass like, type 1 immortality. You can bypass things like that, but he can still age you, he still kill you, which is pretty cool. And Fate has also shown to cast a happy spell, which makes a bunch of goons very happy, which stops them from fighting. Dr. Fate can also create thousands of clones. He's shown to use like power draining, so he's been able to literally weaken his opponents by draining their powers with his magical amulet. Dr. Fate can also absorb energy and also redirect it too. Dr. Fate can also use some matter manipulation, being able to turn someone into clay, which is pretty impressive. His Ankh can also blind his opponents, and he can also seal them inside of a cage. Dr. Fate has shown to break free from the Weaver's fate/destiny manipulation. Dr. Fate goes through immense pain and torture and manages to stay calm and think of a way to use his magic from the inside, not the outside. And basically, for more context, Dr. Fate at the time was basically power node from the outside, but he was able to use his own destiny/fate manipulation against the Weavers and banish them. And lastly, Naboo is pretty much responsible for Kent's fate. Every action will lead back to him. So that's going to round up Dr. Fate. Easily, in terms of AP, he has creation level scaling from the low ends of Ultraversal Plus, High Ultraversal Plus, Boundless Plus, and even Extraversal to Extraversal Plus. Very solid scaling. He's very powerful. Dr. Fate has some insane sorcery. In terms of speed, as I mentioned before, easily immeasurable to irrelevant speed. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and of course, it's been real. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.